This past year has been nothing short of stressful, and the simple fact is that stress can adversely affect your sleep quality. Joining us with 4 tips on managing your stress and getting a better night's sleep is clinical psychologist Dr. Sharon Saline. Hi, Dr. Saline.
Hi, Alana. Good morning.
Dr.
And this is a
Saline.
subject
Yeah.
that is near and dear to my heart. So I'm hoping to share some of these hacks with everybody, including you, of course.
I want to hear them, and I just recently read, Dr. Saline, that the American Psychological Association has reported that 78% of adults say they have COVID-related stress in their lives. So this is something that really affects a lot of people.
A lot. The 2020 and 2021 stress reports from the American Psychological Association are stunning. So let's dig in. So here's my first tip. We're living in a stress pile-on. It's been over a year of COVID-influenced life. And even though many people are getting vaccines, a lot of questions remain about safety related to COVID. Whether it's indoor dining, socializing, or returning to school, the process of opening back up, like any big changes, can bring about feelings of insecurity. Right now, given what we've been through, we don't have a lot of slack, though, for any additional issues. Our stress bucket, already filled to the brim, is now overflowing. So take some time each day to decompress. Otherwise, you'll be up at 4:30 a.m. like I was last night. Whether it's meditating, watching a favorite show, having a cup of tea, calling a friend, doing Sudoku, or going for a walk, just have some time in your day to process everything so you can settle, even if it's just for 5 minutes. That will help you when it's time to go to sleep, or we'll lead into the next tip, which is disrupted sleep. So all of this uncertainty can affect your sleep. You know, as I said, when I'm stressed or overwhelmed, I wake up at 4:30. I hate it, but I get a chance to read or do a relaxation app or meditation, reflect on what's going on, and be with myself. I wish I could do that at 3 p.m., but that's what happens. I don't know, Alana, if this happens to you.
I tend to be a very good sleeper, but I think what you say is key about scheduling time for yourself, whether it be that 5 minutes to meditate, have a cup of tea, or connect with friends or read. You really do, and I tend to be mindful of this thanks to our conversations, need to set aside time for yourself and really devote it, even if it's just that 5 minutes.
So if you want to interrupt this pattern of waking up in the middle of the night, part of what you need to do is adjust your bedtime ritual. Shut off screens an hour before going to sleep. Do some light stretching, listen to music, take a bath. Your goal is to start slowing yourself down before you plop into bed exhausted. If you worry in the middle of the night, write down your worries or your to-do list for the next day so you don't have to think about it. And you can always pick that list up and put those worries back in your pocket as soon as you get up in the morning. And of course, if your sleep continues to be uneven, consult with your doctor.
Dr. Saline, I love your suggestion of keeping the notepad next to the bed to write down your worries, because you are absolutely right. They can keep us up at night, and there's nothing we can do with them at 3 a.m.
No. So should we go to the third tip?
Let's do it.
Persistent overwhelm. We are living on information overload. We switch from one thing to another, from one screen to another, without giving our brains adequate time to shift and process. Of course, multitasking really is a myth, and it contributes to this sense of being overwhelmed and overextended. With all of this constant stimulation in our lives, our stress hormones rise each time we make dinner, talk on the phone, and respond to texts simultaneously. It's too much for our brains. With COVID, we can no longer simply leave our homes to take a walk or a run to the grocery store. We have to remember our masks, our hand sanitizer, as well as your sunglasses, your car keys, and reusable bags. So there's a lot of extra thinking that's going on in our day-to-day life. And so to reduce the overwhelm in your brain, make a conscious effort to slow down a bit and just do one thing at a time, if maybe 2. And I know that's hard for all of us who are active parents, but it really helps if you can just try to focus on 1 or 2 things at the same time.
Great advice. Now, Sharon, we're running out of time, but I'd love for you to briefly talk about your 4th tip, which is honest exhaustion.
Yes, these 14 months have been exhausting. And so if we throw in, just all of the supervision, working from home, some depression, grief, housing, food insecurity, there are higher levels of anxiety, and there are numerous factors that are leading to persistent weariness. This type of fatigue, as my grandmother used to say, is deep in our bones. We all need a respite, and for many of us, there's just no break in sight. So give yourself permission to rest a little bit on the weekends and take it easy. Make fewer plans, lower your expectations for what you should accomplish, and focus a bit on what nourishes you so that you have time to refill your energy reserves and start again on Monday.
Yes, well, Dr. Sharon Saline, it's a good time to take care of ourselves. I want to thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, and have a lovely weekend.